So today we're going to look at making the trouser. First of all, we need the waist of the person, the hip, the thigh, the round knee, and the round bottom. Now, when we get the measurement of the waist, we divide by 4. Like this person, our waist was 28. Then I divide by 4. We have 7 plus 1 inch is that. That will give us 8 for the waist. Now, for the hip, our hip is 36. We divide it by 4. And we don't add any allowance to it for now. That will give us 9. 36 divided by 4 is 9. The thigh is 20. Then when we divide that 20 by 2, not by 4, because the thigh is just one leg. The hip is a combination of the front and the back. Why that will into 4 places, but the thigh is just one leg. So we divide by 2, which is supposed to mean the front and the back. We just divide by 2. So if we divide it by 2 now, we have the front and the back. The front will be 10 and the back will be 10 also. Now, the thing about the thigh is the front side of the thigh is always smaller than the back side of the thigh. So what we now do is they can't be the same, which is supposed to be 10-10. They can't be the same 10-10. So the simple thing we do is we try and adjust it so that the difference will be more than 1 inch. Now this is what I mean. If the front is 10, now I just move 1 inch from the front. We now have 9 remaining. We add it to the back, which will be 11. Now if you still add 9 and 11, it will still give you your 20. Now for the round knee, we divide by 2. Whatever answer we have, divide by 2, because it is one leg. So now when we divide by 2, we have 7.5 and 7.5. Like I said, for the thigh, we make sure they both have a difference of 1 inch. So instead of having 7.5, 7.5, we make sure the difference between them is 7. So now if you have 7 at the front, I remove the half inch and add it to the back, we now have 8. 7 and 8. You realize that the difference between two of them is 1 inch. And if you add 7 and 8 together, it will still give you 15, which is the round knee. Now the round bottom for the person is 10. It is still one leg. I'll just divide it by 2. So we're supposed to have 5 and 5 because we divide by 2. The same way we did for the thigh, we make sure the difference between both of them is 1 inch. So instead of having 5 and 5, I remove 1 inch from 5 and add it to the back, which will give us 4 and 6. So the thigh, the new measurement for the thigh now is 9 and 11, because 9 for the front and 11 for the back. The round knee is 7 and 8. 7 for the front and 8 for the back. And the round bottom is 4 and 6. 4 for the front and 6 for the back. So that is for the horizontal. The vertical aspect, we measure now we need the waist to hip of the person. How do we get the waist to hip? On the person, you just measure from our waist to the hip bone. And this person that I measure, our waist to our hip bone is 6.5. It's 6. And you measure her waist to her thigh. The way you measure the waist to thigh is you simply divide the hip by 4 plus 1 inch or half inch, whichever you want. You divide the hip of the person by 4 plus 1 inch. Our hip was 36. If you divide the 36 by 4, you get 9 plus 1 inch. That will give you 10. Now, the next one is the waist to knee. The way you get that is you simply measure the waist to knee of the person from the waist of the person to her kneecap. When you measure, you remove 2 inches. That will give you the waist to knee. That waist to knee is needed when you are making a pencil trouser or a boot cut trouser. You get to use the waist to knee. And the next one is the waist to the full length of the trouser. Whatever measurement you have, you add 1 inch to it. Our own waist to full length is 36. Plus 1 inch, it will give me 37. The 1 inch is for sewing allowance. So now we are going to go to the cardboard to make out the pattern for the trouser. So this is the upper part of the cardboard. I'll draw a straight line first. We draw a straight line. That straight line is the beginning of the trouser, which is the waist. All right, my waist there. So I'll start measuring vertically now. So I'll start from the waist here. I'll measure vertically. We have the first one is the waist to hip. Remember, the waist to the hip bone, I have 6. I measure 6 inches. So because this cardboard is small, I'm not going to be using the exact measurement here, but I'm just going to be saying out loud. A waist to knee, which is 6. I'll mark it here like this. And from the waist to the thigh again, I'll measure a waist to thigh, which was the hip of the person divided by 4 plus 1 inch. That gave us 10. And the waist to the full length, for now, let's measure the waist to the full length, which was 37 plus 1 inch, showing allowance. I have to measure it here also. So the waist to hip, which was 6. And I remember we measured the waist, the waist to the waist to hip. Then the next one is the waist to thigh. Remember how we got it, we measure it also. And the full length plus 1 inch, we measure it. Now we join it horizontally like this. Like this. So this is, remember, this is the waist. This is the waist here. Now the waist, this is the hip line. This is where you measure our hip measurement. And this is the thigh. So we measure our thigh measurement. And this is the bottom. Now, for me to start, I measure horizontally now. We have got a horizontal line. Now, I can't start the measurement for the edge of the paper. I take in like 2 inches. Before I start, you can use 2 or 3 inches. Take in 2 inches here like this. From the front, join it like this. Now that is where my measurement is going to start, not from the edge of the fabric or the paper. Now I'll do the same for the back. Remember, we use 2 inches for the front, we use 3 inches for the back also. To be bigger than the front part. Now, at the waist, I'm going to measure the waist of the person, of the person's measurement. Remember how we got the waist of the person? Plus 1 inch. I measure it here. Now, on the hip line also, I'm going to measure the hip that I divided before. Mark it like this. Yeah. You can see if we join it together now. Now, I will measure the hip to the bottom parts of the full length measurement also. What I have here, I measure it now. That is for the front. Now, for the back, now if I want to measure the back, this is where I'm supposed to start my measurement. I won't start my measurements directly here. I'll take it in 1/2 inch. Because remember, like I said, your back is curved inside, it's not straight. So I'll take it in 1/2 inch first, join it to the hip line like this before I start my measurement. You get? So I'll measure the waist of the person here. For the back also, I'll measure the hip measurement. I'll measure it down like this, like I'm making a straight skirt. I'm making a straight skirt like this. I'll shape it to the waist here like this. So it's looking like a pencil skirt. So the next thing I'm going to do now is we have got, this is the back and this is the front. the next thing I'm going to do now is I'll measure the thigh for the person now. Now, when I want to measure the thigh, this is the thigh line. I'm not going to start directly on this thigh line. I'm going to bring it down like